Welcome to a guide to new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. Okay, we have new mods for the 23rd of May. These are mods from yesterday, but they didn't drop till about 10 o'clock last night, just after 10 o'clock. Way past my bedtime, didn't have a chance to get them done last night, but we're going to have a look at them this morning and I'll get them posted as soon as possible. So, what should I start with? Let's have a look down the front here, because these are going to kind of all link up. These ones actually worked out quite well today. So this is the Agri Convoy mod by Surci or Surci modding. 4 slots, and it's a 3-point link attached sign basically. Hazard squares and then Convoy Agricole. I know that's terrible, that's not even now, you know. It's French and it's agricultural convoy or convoy agricultural, whichever way around you want to look at it. Now I kind of looked at it and thought, no, I'm not really too sure how much use that's going to be. If you're doing multiplayer, if you're going to go full in for the, you know, really immersive and you're moving equipment across the map, and I suppose on PC now, if the Follow Me mod, I don't know if that's available yet, is it? I don't know if you've got it yet or not. But if you're doing a Follow Me thing, that's a really cool thing to have on the front of your vehicle. For console gamers, I was thinking, I really don't know how much use that's going to be. But coupled with a couple of the mods today, actually, you know what? That's going to work out all right. Let's have a quick look in store. Now, this was under, where did I find this in the end? I went all over the place. Miscellaneous and, was it under weights? I think it might have been under weights. So if you're looking for it, yes, it was. There we go. 300 to buy, which is brilliant. I think I might have already said, but it's 4 slots. We can change the main colour to anything we want. So it changes the main metalwork. The hazard boxes stay the same and the actual sign on it stays the same. But we can change all of that. And it's 250 kilograms, so it's kind of a weight in essence anyway. Nice bit of kit, nicely made, good detailing on it. Love the fact now on a lot of these mods you get all like the bolt heads and rivets, and it's just really, really cool. So we'll have a look at that again in a second when we've looked at a couple of the other mods. So moving on very swiftly, we have got the Flegel dolly. This is by krisjo, twin axle dolly. Again, very, very nice, neat mod. Sometimes you get these and the bar kind of stays out the front and you're always a little bit, well, how is that just hanging there on its own? I love the fact that this is included. You actually see that and it looks metallic, holds it in place, stops it dropping down. Love it. It's a really nice mod, this. One downside, which I was quite surprised about, and again, this is probably not the modder's fault. They make it on PC, they put the console conversion onto it and it comes to console. That's 14 slots. That seems really high to me for a dolly. I mean, it's not got a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of detail on it, but I wouldn't say 14 slots worth of detail. So yeah, a bit of an odd one there. If we have a look at this one in store, under dollies, 4,000 to buy, which isn't massively expensive, considering the in-game standard one is 9,000. It's under half price, pretty good. And we've got the option as well on here to change the main colour, which is the top section like that, and the main body of the actual dolly, and then we can change the design colour, which is the mudguards. Well, I call them mudguards. I've read various different people saying they call them different things in whatever part of the world they come from. So those are the 2 options you can change on it, and it hooks up to trucks, semis, that kind of stuff with the 5th wheel attachment. There, again, we're going to come back to that in just a second because we're going to move on very quickly to this one. Now this is very, very nice looking mod. An absolute beastie of a mod. This is by North Modding Company, and I've said this before on various different mods they've put out. These guys love their login and forestry stuff. This is 8 slots, and this is the side neck jumbo trailer. It's a lizard one, as you can see. Lots of nice detail on it. and there are some very clever features on this. Now this is designed specifically for moving forwarders, tree harvesters, those kind of things, like the Pond Scorpion King, the Komatsu, I can never remember the number of it, and the John Deere one and that kind of stuff. And there's some clever features on this, in so much as when you bring your forwarders and stuff over, I'll show you one in a second, the front set of wheels can sit in here, the back wheels actually sit into these slots, which makes it more stable. But what is also very clever is having your triple axle in the middle of the trailer. It means when you turn it round, it basically swivels on that centre section, which means you can turn this entire trailer, which is quite long, on its axis pretty much, rather than having all the wheels at the back, which means you've got to swing the whole thing round and the axis pointed to the back. So you've got a much tighter turning circle, which is incredibly clever. So what I'm going to do, very, very quickly, now you can hook that up with a normal truck, lorry, whatever you want, but I thought because we've got the dolly, I will use the dolly as well. So if I back the dolly in, now the problem you've always got with using a tractor and a dolly for these kind of things is you've got that second point of articulation, so that can be a problem when you're trying to move. So this is when I suddenly thought, hang on a minute, this is quite a long vehicle, so why not get my agricultural convoy sign on the front as well? Not bad at all. Now I'll hook that up like so. Just turn the engine off on that a second, and we'll go and grab this. So I've just borrowed one of these, you know, for the purposes of the video. Now, one thing I will say, I keep saying one thing I will say, there's lots of things I will say, it's quite narrow. Surprisingly, because it's designed for these vehicles, if they'd have just gone a tiny little bit wider, it would have sat a lot more comfortably. Personally, I know it's a minor thing, but you can still get on there. So like I say, when we roll up on this, he says that went up on there fine. Okay. There we go. Just needed some more revs. So as we go over the top, that front set of wheels goes in there, and the rear set drops quite neatly into that back section there. I think I'm still on quite straight. What is nice as well is if you go, actually now, I've got a double axle dolly here. If you go with a single axle dolly, it kind of puts it almost there. So this comes back a little way, but it's still not too much of a problem. But if you look at the actual header, you can drop the header down into that gap, which again, nice feature. I like that. Turn the engine off. But what you've also got is this front bay here. North Modding Company bought out that small fuel tank thing recently, the mobile fuel tank that you can take out to the woods with you. That sits very neatly on that little platform there. It's almost like they designed it that way, isn't it? It's clever. So if we go back to here, turn it on, come all the way back to here, L1 and X, puts the ramps up. Now we do have beacons, or a beacon on the back, lights, zoom in a little bit on that, whoa, that went a bit crazy, that way around, lights, turn the lights off, indicators, like so, very nice, and hazards back off again. I've just actually noticed those hazard squares are at different heights. How weird's that? I wonder if that's intentional. And then off we go on our merry way with our agricultural convoy. I mean agricultural in as much as it's forestry, but and like I say, if you look at the trailer now, I'm going to try and get into a space where I can turn this round. So as I turn this with the dolly, you notice the rear axles on that, the triple axle, that will turn round in its own length. I mean, it's, you haven't got to worry about having a massive turning space for this. I like it. I think it's very clever. Nice mod. If you like your forestry and that kind of thing, it's really cool. It's not flat enough for using for lots of other stuff. You're not going to get a harvester on there or anything like that. And I would probably say you're not going to be able to use that for loading pallets and things like that. It is going to be mainly a forestry kind of trailer, I would think, unless you can find any exciting uses for it. But there you go. That's by North Modding Company. Very nice bit of kit. So, oh, hang on. We didn't. Did we have a look at? No, we didn't. What am I doing? So, low loaders. Before we move on too quickly, side neck jumbo trailer, 12,000 it cost to buy, and this is 8 slots. And you do have the option in here to change the rim colour of your wheels to, I don't know, whatever you want, red. And then our main colour we can change to yellow. So you can change the main colour and your rim colour to whatever you want. Not too expensive. But yeah, nice trailer. Nice bit of kit that from North Modding Company. Like it a lot. So moving on, let's get a couple of these. Oh no, we'll go straight to this one. So this is the Bergman HTW 4550. Now I saw that originally and thought it was a double like trailer pack kind of thing. Nice, neat, tidy mod. And then I thought to myself, hang on, I'm sure I've already reviewed this. There was a Bergman HTW 65 that came out. I think it was by Lexic, was it? And this is the thing, you get so many of these mods come out, you start thinking, oh, is it an update? Is it a newer version? Is it one I've already seen? I'm not too sure. Forage trailer. A lot of nice detail on this. This one I think I got with mudguards, and it's got a cover on the top. We'll have a look at it in store in a moment. Nicely detailed mod, lots going on here. White mesh at the front, again we'll have a look at that in the options section. So we'll go into trailers, and here we have the Bergman HTW 4550, 45,598 to buy with a 47,541 litre capacity. It will take wood chips, it will take your forage, straw, hay, grass, sugar cane, interestingly, and silage. Options available, and there are quite a few. We can change the rim colour, and this is pretty much, you know, completely customizable. We can change the rim colour to any of those colours we want to. So if I wanted to go yellow, we can change the main colour, which is the main metalwork around the whole thing, like so. We can change the design. Let's did this before, design, and that's the kind of panels inside that. If I go for something that's going to stand out, like blue, so that's your panels. Then we've got our wheel options. Trelleborg or Michelin are the two options. Now under both of those we've got the option to go 2-axle or 3-axle. So if I go back to Trelleborg and then put it on Michelin, we can have 2-axle or 3-axle. Those are your options on those. Then we've got kind of Schutzblech, is it? I think that's without mudguards, because then we've got Schutzblech, which puts the mudguards on. You can just about kind of see them. If I take those off again, mudguards on and off. We've then got without reflectors, as it comes kind of standard. With reflectors, puts these strips around some of the corners and edges of a lot of the bits of the trailer. We'll take those off again and on again, so you can just sort of see. And then if we go down one more, we have got without top. We can have it with a top, which kind of puts those support bars and a little bit of an extension on the top, which makes it a little bit more rigid across the top. Or we can have it with a cover, which is the one I kind of went with. And then we've got green grid or white grid, and that's at the front here. So this mesh at the front, you can either have it green or white. So again, depending on the design you go for, that will, you know, alter your plans. So those are all the options. Quite a few configurable options. You know, it's a Bergman trailer still, but again, you can get it to match whatever colour scheme you run on your farm, or if you just want to go over a particular funky colour, it's entirely up to you. So those are your options. Looking at it very, very quickly, I say very, very quickly, I always say very, very quickly and then take ages doing it. At the end of the day, it does what it should do. But it's a very nice, neat mod. If I do L1, R1, and to unload, got the belt on the back and the spinners that bring everything out. Nice, smooth, clean animation. Very, very tidy. Close that. If we come to the top, we can open the cover. Again, nice bit of a sound effect to that as well, but a nice smooth animation. Looks really cool. Like that. I think the front and rear axles turn. They do, to make it a little bit easier for turning. And there you go, that's your Bergman 4550. Oh, that's by Luca. Sorry, I didn't even say it was by. It's Luca, and it's 13 slots. It's fairly high, but then that's because you've got a lot of customization options on there. So you know it's going to be lots of detail, lots of customization options. So it's going to be quite high, and that was kind of my point. Is you look at that Bergman trailer and everything that's going on that, with all the detail, all the options, all the things that you can do. When you look at, I mean, all the detail on that, that is one slot less than this Fliegel dolly. That baffles me. Very unusual. Anyway, so moving swiftly on, we have got this right here. This is the Silo Press 33. This is by Ready 90. It's a silage roller for silage clamps, bunker silos, whatever you particularly call them. It's a Silo Press 33 because it's a 3.3 meter width, and it helps to compact a bunker silo. It's a nice, neat, tidy mod. It looks I suppose because of the colour choice as well. I mean, that's how it comes standard. It looks a little bit cartoony, but I think that's more down to the colour. I think if the rollers maybe were metal, I don't know. At the end of the day, it does exactly what it should do. It's a silage roller. We'll have a look at that in store. That's under levelers. So we go to Silo Press 33, 6,500, and it's 3.3 meter width. Options available on that. We can change the main colour. So if you wanted to go more, I don't know if that makes it any better or not actually. And then maybe, is there a metal? Kind of, but the metal doesn't look that great. That's not the mod's fault, it's just the colour itself. But anyway, so you can change like the main colour, and then the design colour is the actual roller sections on that. Adds a little bit more money on, not horrendously. But there you go. Silage roller, the Silo Press 33 from Ready 90. Right, moving on. But did I need the engine money on that again? I did. We have got next to us, we've got the Metaltech DBL pack, and we've had a few different trailers of different designs. And the DBL, I've got the DBL 10 in front of us here. It's a pack because you've got quite a few options available on this. Small-ish trailer sizes. I think we go from a DBL 8 to a DBL 12, and I think it goes 10, 12 and 14,000 litres are the capacities. But there are, again, quite a few options available on this. Another incredibly detailed mod. I mean, there is a lot going on here. You know, I've always said it, my little taste test. You go up and you look at the decals. The closer you get to the decals, if you don't get any blur, you know, absolutely fantastic. Some mods you kind of get closer and closer, and they do get a bit blurry. But yeah, there's a lot of detail on this. You look under there, you spare, and you know, again, nut and bolt heads and springs, all the stuff's on here. It's a really nice mod. So, in store then, this is under trailers, of course, and we are right here, the DBL. This one was, did I say how many slots? It was 10 slots, and this is by Matt 26. We start off with, for, that's interesting, 10,000 litres is the DBL 8, and that's the smallest one, right? Now, if I come back out again, that says 8,500, doesn't it? So as soon as I click on this, that's the standard version you get. Oh no, I know why there's a cheaper version. I just suddenly remembered. I'm thinking, but that says 9,400. That's not the price. I know why. We'll get to that in a minute. Right, we can change the main colour, like so, which is the chassis, the handrails, and a few of the metal bits around the edges. We can change the design colour, which is like the bodywork, the panels on the side. For example, I don't know, let's go with the blue. We can get an option on the DBL8, like I said, which is 10,000 litres, the DBL10, which is 12,000 litres, or the DBL12, which is 14,000 litres, and obviously the price goes up gradually. For the 14,000 litre one, you're looking at 17 grand. It is a swivel axle front on that, articulated axle. I'm not a lover of those, but there are ways round making it a bit easier. Wheel brand, we can have Lizard, we can have Trelleborgs, and if you go with Trelleborgs you get a wider tyre, or we can have Michelins, which gives us the standard. So on the Lizards and the Michelins they're standards, on the Trelleborgs they're wides, and then we can have on the back no attacher or a trailer hitch. So if you want to then daisy chain trailers together and tow another trailer behind, you can have a trailer hitch on the back. Then if we come down, we can have cover, no, cover standard, which is kind of the Metaltech colour, or colourable. Now the colourable one will always match whatever you went with your main colour. So as you can see, my main colour was yellow, so the cover will always match that main colour. If I go back up to the top again, change that main colour to, I don't know, orange, it will change that cover to orange as well. So the cover colourable will always put it the colour of your main colour, which I think is quite a nice feature. It's quite a cool thing, that. Very nice indeed. So there you go. Those are all the options available. We're going to have a look at that in a second. Actually, we'll do it with the tractor first, and then... Oh, I've left my light on, didn't I? I mean, at the end of the day, it moves and the cover opens and closes, but, you know. Oh yeah, tip functions, I suppose. Yeah, I always forget tip functions. There we go. So, cover open, like so. Closed, like so. If we open up the help menu, R1, it gives us tip side left, tip side right, tip side back, tip side grain door. Tip side left looks like so. Fairly slow animation on that, but you don't want it to be, you know, whizzing up really, really quickly. But it's neat, it's tidy. It's a nice mod, that. So we can do so as well. Close that back down again. Very, very cool. So, I'm just going to leave that there for a minute. And this is why I've never been a fan of these, because parking and reversing them is an absolute nightmare. Now what you can do is you can turn your vehicle round, and if you've got a front trailer hitch, doing it with a tractor or something from the front makes it so much easier. Which leads me on quite nicely, nice little segue, again almost like I planned it, into the next mod. And this is this one here. And this was a bit of a peculiar one for me. This is the wheel loader to trailer adapter. This is by Swedish Bonna team, and it's one slot. And I kind of looked at it and thought, okay, of all the types of adapters you'd need, I'm not quite sure what the point of this one is. So you put a wheel loader on one side and you've got a trailer hitch here. And I thought initially, oh, it's for the back, because sometimes a lot of the wheel loaders, they don't always hook up properly to certain trailers, so you put it on there and it will... But no, it doesn't do that. It goes on the front, which is a bit peculiar. But if we put it on the front, like so, we've now changed our wheel loader into a trailer hitch attachment on there. Now, I'm still a little bit kind of, well, okay, but it's got a very specific, kind of very singular use. Realistically, if you've got a yard and you've got a wheel loader and you're shunting trailers around and you're moving stuff about, that is really what it's for. If I hook this up to the front of my trailer now, if you're going to move these trailers around, and these swivel axle ones are horrible for moving around, actually, you know what? You've got a lot more control with a wheel loader, same as a tractor, so for backing these things up, moving them around, it can make life a lot easier, he says, not actually showing it particularly well, but like I say, you can control them a lot easier with a lot more finesse than I have. But yeah, I mean, that's in essence what it does, because honestly, if I hooked up to a trailer like that and I was taking this to sell, I wouldn't want to be reversing my wheel loader all the way to a sell point. You'd put it on a tractor, wouldn't you? So realistically, I'm thinking it's going to be for moving stuff around a yard, putting them away in sheds, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a peculiar one. Now in store, this is under, oh, where was this? I think it might have been under miscellaneous. Could be wrong on that. There we go. The wheel loader trailer adapter, 7,500. So it's not cheap, but like I say, it's no one slot, and you do have the option if you want to change it to whatever colour you want to fit whatever vehicles you're using. I left it on the colour it was on because it kind of just yellow fitted using the JCB anyway. But that's by Swedish Bonna team. Interesting one, that. And lastly, on our fun list of mods for today, we have got a nice, simple, straightforward, no nonsense, right in front of you. We've got the Flegel manure fork. This is by Gamer 8250. It will use up 3 slots, and it's a manure fork. It does exactly what it says it does. Front loader attaching. Like so. I do like. I'm getting quite fond of the galvanised steel look. I do like that. We've had a few mods now, and I think I bought my milk tanker trailer the other day on Marwell Manor, and I got the galvanised one rather than the chromed one. It's a nice effect. I do like that, because you still get that metal look. As you see, the light kind of glints off it as you go around. So this is under front loaders. Just there. 700 to buy. I think I already said it's 3 slots. It's a 1,140 litres, so it's not a big capacity. There are larger ones, much larger ones in game, but if you're running a small setup and you want a different style, a different kind of look fork, this might be just what you're looking for. We can change, when it says main colour, it's the front tines, prongs, forks, whatever they're called. We can have them red or we can have them black. It's entirely up to you which you would rather have. And there you go. That's it. We got through all of them. Some nice mods mixed in with there today. Not bad at all. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.